Let me start with a truth most people ignore. Your life is not shaped by the hundreds of things you touch. It's shaped by the handful you truly commit to. In a world overflowing with choices, it's easy to fall into the trap of chasing everything, thinking that the more we juggle, the more we'll achieve. But the reality? The most extraordinary results in history, in business, in art, in relationships, have come from focusing on the few that truly matter. Think back to your own life. If you list your proudest achievements, your most meaningful relationships, or your most fulfilling moments, you'll notice they come from just a few people, a few projects, a few opportunities. It's never the dozens of scattered efforts that define you. It's the concentrated, relentless investment in your winners. Those winners could be people, skills, ideas, or ventures, but the principle is the same. You double down on what's working, and you let go of the rest. Steve Jobs understood this better than most. When he returned to Apple in 1997, the company was drowning in a sea of products. Printers, cameras, dozens of computer models, each pulling resources in a different direction. Apple was weeks away from bankruptcy. Jobs did something that shocked the world. He cut the product line by 70%. In a matter of weeks, he said no to most of the projects Apple was working on. His vision? To focus on just a handful of products. That could be exceptional. That ruthless prioritization gave birth to the iMac, the iPod, the iPhone, and the iPad. Innovations that reshaped entire industries. Jobs once said, "People think focus means saying yes to the thing you've got to focus on. But that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas." This wasn't just business strategy. It was life philosophy. He knew that every yes was also a no to something else. And the courage to say no to the many in order to say yes to the few was what transformed Apple from a sinking ship into the most valuable company in the world. The same principle applies to our personal lives. We often spread ourselves thin, trying to please everyone, chase every opportunity, and learn every skill. We think we're being productive, but in truth, we're scattering our energy. It's like planting seeds in 1,000 places, but never watering them enough to grow. The most successful people water just a few plants, and they grow in the forest. Warren Buffett, the world's most celebrated investor, put it simply, the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Buffett doesn't invest in hundreds of companies. He picks a small number he believes in deeply, and he commits for decades. While others are frantically buying and selling, he's sitting patiently, letting compound growth do the heavy lifting. His entire fortune was built by betting big on a few winners: Coca-Cola, American Express, Apple, and ignoring the noise. Buffett's approach to investing is the perfect metaphor for life. Your time, energy, and attention are your capital. If you invest them in too many places, you'll get average returns everywhere. But if you concentrate them on your best opportunities, the returns can be life-changing. Imagine your life as a garden. You can try planting every flower and vegetable you can think of, or you can choose just a few and give them your full care. The second approach may not look as busy, but it will produce richer, healthier, and more beautiful results. And here's the secret most people miss. Priorities are not fixed forever. They shift as your life changes. What's a winner today may not be a winner tomorrow. The skill is in recognizing when to double down and when to walk away. Jobs and Buffett both mastered this. Jobs walked away from dozens of Apple projects to focus on the iMac. Buffett sold investments when the fundamentals changed. They didn't cling to the past. They invest in the present winners. So as we move forward in this speech, I want you to ask yourself, what are the few winners in your life right now? Who are the people, projects, or opportunities that have the highest potential to give you the results you want? And more importantly, what are the distractions you need to let go of, no matter how tempting they seem? Because the first step to greatness is not adding more. It's cutting away the noise. If the first step to mastery is identifying your winners, the second is having the discipline to say no to everything else. This is not easy. Our minds are wired to fear missing out. Every invitation, every project, every side hustle whispers, what if this is the big one? But the truth is, if you're always chasing maybe, you'll never commit to certain. Steve Jobs called, focused the act of deciding what not to do. When he took over Apple again, many employees were stunned. Some of the projects he killed were beloved by their creators. But Jobs understood that emotional attachment to a project doesn't make it a winner. If it doesn't serve the big vision, it has to go. And this wasn't about working less. It was about working better. By concentrating resources on a small set of priorities, Apple could pour unmatched attention into design, innovation, and user experience. The result wasn't just good products, it was revolutionary ones. Warren Buffett operates with a mental tool he calls the 20-slot rule. Imagine you have a punch card with 20 slots for investments, and once you've made 20, you can't make any more for the rest of your life. That forces you to think very hard about each choice. In life, you don't literally have a punch card, but you do have a limited number of big bets you can make with your time, your relationships, and your energy. Waste them on mediocre options, and you'll regret it. The beauty of this philosophy is that it liberates you from the pressure to do everything. You stop feeling guilty for declining invitations, quitting a project, or walking away from something that isn't working. You're not being lazy, you're being strategic. Think about it. Warren Buffett reads for hours every day, not because he's avoiding action, but because he's waiting for the right action. He understands that in investing and in life, patience pays far more than frantic activity. Steve Jobs, too, could spend weeks obsessing over a single design detail. That focus, that refusal to be distracted, is why their work left a mark. When you say no to the non-essential, you create space for the exceptional. You give yourself the room to go deeper, to innovate, to perfect your craft. A chef who tries to master every cuisine will never be as great as the one who pours their soul into a few signature dishes. An athlete who trains for 10 different sports will never dominate like the one who dedicates themselves to one. Here's a personal challenge. Make a not-to-do list. Write down the activities, habits, and distractions that eat your time but give little return. Then, commit to cutting them out, not just reducing them, but eliminating them. This will hurt at first. You'll feel the pull of those old habits. But over time, you'll find that the mental clarity and energy you gain are worth far more than the comfort of clinging to them. Remember, Steve Jobs didn't bring Apple back to life by doing more. He did it by doing less better. Warren Buffett didn't build an empire by investing in every opportunity. He built it by ignoring almost all of them. Your path to success will not be paid by the number of things you touch, but by the depth of impact you create with the few you choose. And that brings us to the next part. Once you said no to the rest, how do you invest in your winners so they reach their full potential? Cutting out distractions is only half the journey. The other half is pouring your best energy into your winners, the people, projects, and opportunities that can truly change your life. This is where commit meets excellence. Steve Jobs didn't just choose the iPhone as a priority and walk away, he immersed himself in it. He reviewed every design draft, every user interface change, every marketing plan. He pushed his team relentlessly, not because he wanted perfection for perfection's sake, but because he knew that the iPhone was a once-in-a-generation product that deserved his full attention. That level of investment turned it from just another phone into a device that redefined communication, business, and culture. Warren Buffett, too, doesn't just pick a stock and forget about it. He learns the business inside out. He studies the leadership, the market position, the competitive advantages. When he invests with conviction, both financially and mentally. And because he has so few core investments, he has the bandwidth to truly understand and nurture them. In your own life, This means giving your winners not just your time, but your highest quality time. If your health is a winner for you, don't. Just fit in workouts, design your schedule around them. If your career is a winner, don't just clock in and out, study, network, and innovate within your field. If a relationship is a winner, don't just keep in touch, build shared experiences. Trust and growth. One of the biggest traps people fall into is treating their winners casually. They think, this is already going well, so I can focus on fixing the other areas. But neglecting your winners is like owning a thriving orchard and forgetting to water it because you're too busy planting new seeds. Your winners deserve more, not less, of your attention. Your attention. And here's the beautiful part. When you invest deeply in a few winners, they often multiply their returns in ways you never expected. Jobs' focus on the iPod led to iTunes, which led to the iPhone, which led to the App Store. Buffett's investment in See's Candies gave him the blueprint for understanding brand loyalty, which influenced future billion-dollar decisions. When you go deep, you uncover opportunities hidden beneath the surface. So here's your call to action. Identify your winners, the few things that matter most right now. Eliminate the rest with courage and without guilt. Invest in your winners, like your future depends on it, because it does. Life is short, and your energy is finite. Don't dilute it chasing everything. Focus it like a laser on the opportunities that can define your legacy. Steve Jobs did. Warren Buffett does. And so can you. Because at the end of your life, you won't remember the 100 projects you touch. You'll remember the few you gave your heart to. And those few will be the ones that made all the difference.